Okay, I'm going to get started, hopefully. So my name is Laurie Brander, and I am one of those people that is known as a horseaholic. And there's probably people out there that have horses or have horses in your family. And you know what that means for those of us who have horses. Anyway, aside from feeding my strong addiction to horses, I've spent most of my life working in the legal profession as a freelance paralegal, most recently as a trial technologist. And I just met BEMER in April of 2018, and my life was forever changed. So my horses, I actually operate Epona Experience, which facilitates a life skills and personal development program where our horses are the teachers and they work with people. When our horses work in EAL session, they perform incredible healing for the humans involved. And in the process, they can often take on the emotions and energies of these humans. Sorry, I have dry mouth. Before and after a session with the humans, the horse need to ground. After a group leaves, they'll drop to the ground. Sometimes when I'm setting up for a session, my horse Charm will drop to the ground because she knows people are coming. Energy is my first language. I understand it more than I do words. You might as well be who you really are because your vibe is going to tell me the truth anyway. And this is how horses speak. Energy is the language of it all. And this quote really says it all about horses. And that's why they respond so amazingly well to BEMER. This is part of my herd of intuitive and wise teachers at Epona Experience. And these guys all do a very important job for me. And in addition to that, they're my pets and my friends, and I love them so much. I'm always looking for better ways to care for them. And I'm not alone here. A horseaholic will tell you that horses are a lifestyle, not a hobby. They'll tell you that horses are crucial to their well-being, their life, and their happiness. We invest hundreds of dollars each month on supplements, and we buy our own vitamin C at Walmart. And we dole out $100 every 6 weeks for the farrier and sometimes more. And then we duct tape the sole back on our own boots. So horse people are an interesting culture, and we spend a lot of money on our lifestyle. We're a different breed, and today I'm going to give you a little peek inside of this little subculture. This is me, my boyfriend, and my horse Charm. And first I want to tell you how I discovered BEMER. There was a few reasons I was interested in BEMER. I had a lot of issues with my neck from a ski crash when I was 12. And after many years of working at a desk, riding my horses had become really painful, and it was discouraging to me. I'd also come through some problems with adrenal issues and was just trying to find my health again. My boyfriend Michael had also been in a bike crash and had problems with his head. He'd been bouncing around to different neurologists. They were trying different medications. They really didn't help, and we were getting to the end of our rope. But the main reason, actually the third reason and the main reason I made the call to try the BEMER was that my herd leader and head EAL teacher at Epona had become increasingly cantankerous and hard to be around. After taking x-rays, our vet told us that Judge had the beginnings of a painful hoof condition. It usually worsens and becomes chronic with time. And after reading up on it, I learned that the root cause of this condition was a lack of circulation. And I'd heard about this thing called BEMER. My friend Pamela Garrett brought Geraldine Johnson, who's a team manager, up to my place for an afternoon, and we put the BEMER on my herd. I couldn't believe the response to the signal. We used BEMER on all of my horses that day, and they left me with a pro and a horse set for 3 days. I used it on the horses every day. I used the pro every day, and by the time that 3 days was up, I had called my credit union and had bought the horse set, and I was preparing to buy the pro set. And this was just in May 2018, under a year ago. I've been using them like crazy. The results have been miraculous for me, Michael, Judge. I mentioned my neck pain from the ski accident. Since BEMER, my neck pain has been so manageable. My skin's improved, my hair's healthy, I can handle more stress. I am happier and just have a better sense of well-being. My joints are so fluid that in January I was able to take a lesson on circus Roman riding, and I'm going to take another one in May. Anyway, I feel a lot years younger this year than I did last year. Michael started using the BEMER twice a day. He had fantastic results. His head discomfort had lessened within 7 days. And as long as he uses the BEMER, he feels really good. During the months of May and June last year, I used the BEMER on Judge daily. By mid-June, he was his old self on a trail ride again. So Judge continues to do well, and he gets BEMER only several times a week. I got my guys back. So it's just been a really, really happy year for us. So before I tell you about the BEMER Horse Set, I want to tell you a little bit about horses and horse owners in the United States. About every 5 years, the U.S. Department of Agriculture conducts a census on the U.S. horse industry. The American Horse Council also commissioned a recent study, and this is where I'm getting my statistics, but the statistics are not hardcore, and that's not really why I'm here. I just want to give you an idea that there are 9.2 million horses in the United States. This is more than any other country in the world. And interestingly, 3.1 million of those are the American quarter horse. 1.29 are thoroughbreds, and the combination of other breeds make up 4.64 million of those horses. Here's the states with the most horses: Texas, California, Florida, Oklahoma, and Kentucky. I live in Arizona. We have a lot of horses, despite the fact that we don't even make the top 10. There's 2 million United States horse owners. There's a lot more horses than horse owners because, as we crazy horse ladies say, horses are like potato chips, and you can't just have one. But in any event, there's still a lot of horse owners and many other people that are just involved in the horse industry. The typical U.S. horse owner, and this may come as a surprise, is a female, above 45, employed, mostly married, and have a median household income above $60,000. Some of the research I read suggested that up to 90% of U.S. horse owners are women, older women. And older women need BEMERs too. They need BEMERs for them. They need BEMERs for their horses. Based on the surveys that I've seen, only 10% of respondents were men. It's an interesting fact. The typical U.S. horse owners, these are all pictures of me and my friends, by the way. Aren't they great? We have great life. Typical U.S. horse owners, 85% ride for recreation. We like to spend time with our horses. We trail ride, and we have fun with them. These are also my friends. 30% of us U.S. horse owners compete or show. The 30% overlaps with the recreational use of 85%. And this means that most of us who compete or show usually use our horses for recreation as well. So this is our market. Our market is just people like me, people like my friends. Less typical owners are facility managers, breeders, exercisers, racehorse owners, and professional trainers. So we need to remember that when we're going out there on this horse set, that they're just regular horse girls. 85% using our horses for fun. We spend a lot of money on our horses every year, about $38.8 billion spent on our horses every year. It's the horse's gift to connect us with heaven and our own footsteps. And that is so true. And by the way, this photograph was taken by my friend Katie Longfellow, and it's absolutely amazing. You can see that looks like there's a horse outlined in the eye of Violet there. Horses are spiritual beings, and maybe perhaps more than any other animal. As this quote describes, they have a unique ability to carry us where we want to be in our own spiritual lives if we let them. And that's why they mean so much to us. And They take such huge portions of our hearts. Now that we've learned who owns the horses in the US, let's talk about those people, mostly ladies. Some women love diamonds, others love horse, a barn, and the smell of leather. This is true. This is true for me. I would never want a diamond. I would rather have a nice saddle or a trip to ride my horse on the beaches of some foreign country. Roses are red, their thorns are so coarse. Forget the flowers, buy me a horse, right? Men involved with Horse Girls need to know that a tax store gift certificate is far more valuable than flowers. Oh, we horsewomen will also call the vet out for a mosquito bite, and we'll butterfly bandage any of our own wounds unless we're missing a digit. This is also very appropriate who's working for who. Any horsewoman will clearly tell you that she's the servant for her grandmaster, her horse. We horsewomen never want to stop riding. I certainly never want to stop riding. BEMER is keeping me in the saddle, and I think it can keep a lot of us other horsewomen in the saddle. At the last report, the Queen of England was still riding at over 90 years of age. And as an older horsewoman, we need to remember that we trust our steeds, and the longer we harbor a relationship with them, the stronger the relationship gets. We don't take bumps and bruises like we used to, so we really need horses that are going to live and be healthy and live for us the rest of our lives. So the BEMER Horse Set was released in 2016. It got a Red Dot Award in 2017, and it was released in its current design at the very end of 2017. I got mine just a few months later. It is very mobile. It comes with a flexible and mobile case that you can hang on stalls. It's easy to clean. I just use it in Canada on really dirty horses who are shedding their spring coats. You can also use it over a sheet or a blanket without compromising the signal. And there is a brand new video out there in the e-learning section of the back office that talks about horse usage of the set. It's cordless. There's 3 therapy programs, but I encourage you to go look at that video on the back office. I think it was just uploaded within the last couple of days. This slide is, I have a funny story. I was giving a talk for Equine Connection in Canada last week, and I had this slide up on a bench on my computer just to remind me of all of these things that the BEMER Horse Set does. And the Equine Connection cat deliberately walked over to my computer and dimmed my screen to black so that I didn't have my notes with me. So I had to wing it, and I actually did okay. But just like the Pro or the Classic, the BEMER Horse Set improves microcirculation, and it supports parasympathetic processes. And what that means with the horse, well, the sympathetic nerve system controls the body's responses to perceived threat, and it's responsible for fight or flight in a horse. On the other hand, the parasympathetic nervous system controls rest and digest. So we want to support our horse getting to a parasympathetic process because that's where we can work with them. It boosts relaxation before and after exertion and recovery. We use it for the horse trailer, vet visits. It increases their overall cooperation and productivity by returning them to parasympathetic. A horse that's relaxed and in a calm, receptive state will jump into the horse trailer. They're easier to work with. You take them to clinics. They want to be your willing partner. This amazing machine also enhances their immune system, accelerates the process of recovery. And I have some really great stories coming up on pre and post surgery recovery after an amputation involving a filly. Again, I mentioned the videos in the e-learning center. One of them covers the basic usage, so I'm not going to demonstrate. This is my horse Judge, and his feet. Like I told you at the beginning, he had a condition where he really needed some help with his hooves. There's also some great videos out there on YouTube done by other distributors, Randy Hood and Linda Tellington-Jones. So we're just going to get straight into some videos of what I've seen since I've been using the BEMER Horse Set. This is my horse, Judge. And oh, I also wanted to mention, there's at the B20, Dr. Rainier Klopp gave a presentation on the horse set, and he had some really interesting microcirculation videos. He's done some additional studies, and he explains that the horse's microcirculation extends into the lymphatic and muscular structure, which is completely unlike humans. And this is why the horses have always really seemed to appreciate the BEMER signal even more than humans. But again, a picture says 1,000 words. I love photos and videos, so I'm going to move to photos and videos. I told you about Judge, and here is my Judgy receiving a BEMER treatment. Now you can see he's going straight into the yawning. When we look for a parasympathetic response in a horse, we're looking for a soft eye. We're looking for the head to drop, licking and chewing. You see that happening now. The horse will cock a back leg. Oftentimes they'll stretch and lengthen. They'll yawn. Many times they will eliminate. So you can see Judge here with his lazy eye, just enjoying his BEMER treatment. This is my horse, Charm. Now, Charm was a real sour horse when I got her. You can see her relaxing here. I'll talk about it in a minute. I'm getting ready to tack her up, and see how she's so relaxed. Her bottom lip is kind of quivering. She was arena sour from years of being ridden with a hard hand and a lot of tie-down equipment. I could afford her because she was kind of wrecky. Anyway, since we've gotten the BEMER, Charm has just completely turned around. She's more supple. She's more fluid. She's starting to be able to listen to me and relax, which is a wonderful thing. This is Arthur. He was the beloved mascot of Epona Experience, and he came to me as a rescue with a multitude of very serious health problems. He did have a lot of improvement in his metabolic issues, and he lost over 60 pounds. And I think the BEMER had a lot to do with that. This is a little Arab that I rescued last year, and she was another really wrecky horse that was afraid of everything. She hadn't been out of her stall in many months. I started using her. We do 5 minutes at the pole, and it seems to just really relax her. And the funny thing is with Gypsy, I was told that she was really too spooky at 15. It had really not done well on the trail. She had been scary. So I was advised really I shouldn't take her on the trail. This picture is Gypsy's very first trail ride. She's with her friend Forrest, who you're going to meet later on in the slideshow. So anyway, after what I was seeing with my own horses, I really wanted to get this BEMER Horse Set out into the community, and I started offering sessions locally. The last thing I really needed was another job, but I was so excited to get this thing on horses and watch what was happening that I just couldn't help myself. So I want to introduce you to a few of those horses. This is Pirata, and she belongs to a good friend of mine, and she now has her own BEMER. Pirata was really high-headed, spooky, couldn't relax, and she was really not doing well on the trail. So you can see Pirata here. She is at the trailer. We're getting ready to go on a trail ride. She's totally parasympathetic. Her head is dropped, her ears are forward, and she's ready to go do her job. Additionally, since Pirata has gotten the BEMER, she started handling shows. She's enjoying shows. This is her and her owner, Raylene. And they just went to a show last weekend at Westworld, which is a great big Class A show down in Scottsdale, Arizona, and they're doing well. They can really attribute the BEMER to their training success. Forrest. Forrest is 29 years old and came to Raylene as a rescue from, he was an off-the-track thoroughbred, and he came to her at age 29 with terrible feet. He couldn't even be ridden. His feet were so tender. we started BEMERing him, and now the guy can't be stopped on the trail. We call him the trail boss. He tries to outrun everybody. It's so fun. Jewel is another horse that I worked on during a show. She's 19, so she's pretty aged for doing a 3-day event for her teen rider. And here we are BEMERing Jewel at the trailer, and she was feeling pretty tired. I think it was the 3rd day of the event, and we didn't know if we were going to have to pull her, but we BEMERed her. And then this is her and Cora. They went out and did their dressage portion of the 3-day event and did very well. I don't think she's going to show Jewel anymore, but this is a teenage girl who loves her horse very much, and a horse who loves her teenage girl very much. And they were able to get some success and suppleness, and that aged horse did very well at this show, so I'm proud of him. This is Lunch Money, and he is a roping horse. And you can see he almost has tears in his eyes. This horse was just so sore. And he had to perform. He's a roping horse out of roping. And you can watch this horse release. Big yawns. Big yawns. You can see him dropping his head, grounding his nose to the ground, shaking his head. That's another way a horse will ground himself. This is old Red. He was at the roping, all this commotion going on, and I just thought this was a great picture because if you see his back leg cocked, and he's got soft eyes, and he just really doesn't care what's going on around him. He's got his BEMER going on. Talia is a horse that boards at my property. She's had a variety of gut issues, which the BEMER has been fantastic for helping her with her gut issues. It's just amazing. I haven't found anything the BEMER is not helping with the horses. Poppy lives at a local rescue. I went out to treat a back leg of her BEMER session. She couldn't put any weight on it. When I ran into Poppy, I thought, I asked the owner, when is the vet coming? Because I think this is an extremely serious situation. And we went ahead and BEMERed her. The next day, the owner called and said that she was doing much better, maybe 70%. I went out again, which is a Sunday. We BEMERed her again. And by the time the vet came on Monday, there really wasn't anything for him to do. But again, that was a very acute injury. It happened right away. We were able to get the BEMER on it soon. So that makes a big difference. Aged horses. Ruby is the horse on the left with the little unicorn forelock. She has arthritis, and you can just see when you put the BEMER on them how much they love it. Eeyore is also a 20-something mini donkey, same thing. And I have been noticing something that I can't wait to show you guys in the last couple weeks. This is Tristan, and I'm noticing lately, and I'll show you, I'm noticing lately that horses are reacting to the BEMER even when the BEMER is not on that specific horse. And you can see Tristan yawning and releasing in a big way over this BEMER session that's being given to this another horse, which is Guinevere, another mini. He was cracking me up because he just couldn't get enough of this thing. He was trying to push his way under it. So cute. Also, I noticed, here's my entire herd experiencing Judge's BEMER session. So even though they have a large paddock area and there's some distance between them, you can see the herd leaders in a calm, relaxed state. The other horses, here's Gypsy. She's quivering lips. She's got her back leg cocked. Talia's eyes are closed. She's also got her back leg cocked. We're going to pan back over to Judge, who's given everyone a nice release, low head. And then there's Charm also with her back leg cocked. So it's just an interesting thing that I've noticed lately with, it seems that the BEMER signal extends and benefits other horses in the vicinity. That's just my theory, but I'm sticking to it. Last week I was up in Canada. This is Comet and Faye. This is another example in a big way of Faye releasing during Comet's BEMER session. And I don't know if you can see it, but Comet's also got his back leg cocked over there and he's feeling real good. Sorry, I got clumsy there. This is another example that we saw with the Equine Connection herd. As we were BEMERing all one horse, JR here, all the other horses got in a circle with my friend Julie, who went up there to help me. And this other photo here on the right of Disco stealing a BEMER session from JR is just so cute. This is Brandon. He's the herd leader at Equine Connection. This is just hilarious. He's totally enjoying the session that's not his. It looks like he has something to say here, doesn't it? This is another interesting one. Kokanee, the first day of BEMERing him, we BEMERed him for 3 days. He was dragging me around and really disrespectful. He hadn't been used in EAL for quite some time because he's hard to handle. So this is him third day. Third day. He's licking and chewing. He's got his head low, and he's just hanging out with the rest of the Equine Connection herd. So now I want to talk to you about my really favorite part of the slideshow, which is the story of Miss Moon, and I briefly mentioned her previously. Miss Moon is a tiny little filly. She was born in the middle of last summer. She got an infection in her foot, and that was due to bad care from her prior owners. Her owners had given up for her, and that's where her story begins with my friend Katie. Katie Longfellow adopted Miss Moon and brought her home when her owners gave up and decided that they were going to take her to the wildlife park to be lion food because they just couldn't deal with the infection and she wasn't going to be worth anything. So Katie brought me Miss Moon home. This is them coming off the trailer. She was weaned at 10 weeks. Katie became her new mom. She's just the sweetest little filly ever. So Katie tried to help this infection and she couldn't get it to heal. So she asked her boss, Dr. Bleak, if he would amputate the filly's front leg. Dr. Bleak's a very brave country vet. He has a lot of guts and a lot of gumption, and he really likes Katie. So he agreed to take on this surgery. I found about a month before the amputation, I found out that it was going to happen. I contacted Katie and we started BEMERing Moon before the surgery. And I also wanted to BEMER Moon directly after the surgery. I wanted to see what BEMER could do for this little miracle baby. So the surgery took place on October 5th, 2018. This is Dr. Bleak, Katie, and Moon in the trailer. I went over that day after the surgery. I did body sessions before surgery, and initially after surgery, I didn't put any cuff on the leg because I wanted the tissues to settle down. I'm sorry. 70% of the horses' weight and concussion occurs in the front. So most horses with the front leg amputation have a really hard time. They also have a tendency to fail on the opposite front leg because the other leg is taking so much of the brunt. So the next few slides are going to be showing the amputation. So if you're squeamish, you might want to look away. I don't think they're too bad. I think they're quite phenomenal and amazing myself. But this is the stump, the surgery stump 2 days post-surgery. And again, we had already started the BEMER. And we also gave her lots of love and hugs. And it's just so cool to have a horse cuddle with you because it doesn't happen very often. They don't lay with their heads in your lap very often. October 16th, 2018, 11 days post-surgery, you can see the incredible amount of healing and the tissue just looks amazing on this stump. October 19th, 13 days post-surgery, the stump is starting to heal. The drains are still there, but it doesn't really appear like they're doing too much at that point. More hug, loves, and more BEMER. Now here we are on October 23rd. This is amazing. Closed wound, 18 days post-amputation. And look at that. It's got hair on it. It's pink, it's healed over. Dr. Bleak was really pretty flabbergasted. Based on his research, he explained to Katie it would take about 2 months for the stump wound to close and heal. He was very pleased and surprised at the speed of Miss Moon's wound healing and the overall vitality after her amputation. BEMER and Manuka honey were the only wound care elements used after this surgery. So Moon is learning to walk with a prosthetic, and she's actually growing so fast that prosthetics have kind of been an issue. She's already started her work as a therapy horse. You can see this little girl here has a prosthetic leg and also has an amputation of her left arm. So she was able to come out, and Miss Moon was able to give her some love and show her some hope in the world. This is Miss Moon in December of 2018. She's kind of a stinker. She's been raised by humans without a horse mama, so she's kind of a stinker, but Katie's a great horse trainer, so she's going to be just fine. Katie loves Moon so much. I love her so much. We are really hoping that she can keep growing and keep developing. Talking about Miss Moon, you know, I think the most profound thing BEMER has brought to my life is the ability to provide something that helps our beloved animals and our people, our family members. It makes me feel like I'm making a positive change in the world, and the attitude of gratitude, love, and giving has resulted in my whole life moving in a positive direction. I'm just so excited to be part of this BEMER movement, especially for our horses. So I'm going to recap it real quick. For all of you BEMER distributors out there wanting to introduce the horse set to your horse owners out there, the average horse owner in the U.S. is just like me and most of my friends. In fact, this picture of me and my friends in Sedona is me and my friends. We're women over 45. We're married. We live rurally. We are riding recreationally. We do a little bit of showing here and there. Most of us ride quarter horses. We use Western saddles. We spend a lot of money on our horses, and we'd really do anything for them. I bought my horse unit before I bought my pro unit. Thank you for your time. I hope I was able to provide you with some new information about the horse unit. Namaste. Thank you very much. And that's the end of my presentation.